Hey guys, happy Friday. I wanted to pop on today and do a video for you guys on getting results for your clients, and are you responsible for that? What are you responsible for? And really understanding this, because it came up a lot for my clients this week as far as are we responsible for our clients' results? Really getting fearful about our program. Is it good enough? All of those things that come up for a lot of us when we're getting started. And so I want to go through this and talk about it, because I think when you can understand this and you know actually what you're responsible for and what you're not, it really helps with this, because it's one of the things that really can hold us back from actually even getting out there and letting people know, hey, I'm a coach and I can help you, either by us not taking action, or when we do take action, we don't have the right energy or confidence behind it. So we end up not getting clients, which we don't want that happening. But a lot of us aren't really aware of this, that we've got this fear going on and kind of this confusion about what we're responsible for. And so I want to clear some of that up and make it really, put it out there in a way so that you guys really understand what you're responsible for and what you're not. So that you aren't taking on more than you should be and allowing that fear or that fear of that responsibility stop you. So what this was coming up with my clients, for a number of my clients, it's funny because it always seems like there's certain topics that come up for everyone at the same time, as far as we're all having fear around this, or we're all worried about this. And there are things that pop up for me too. I think every time we take our business to the next level or we change things, these fears are going to pop up. And so this was a big one, because a lot of my clients were getting to a point right now where they've been getting clear on their ideal client, they've been getting clear on their programs, and they're at a point where they're ready to get visible, put themselves out there, and start getting clients. And so when you do that, it's very common for this fear to really pop up, that you're oh my gosh, do I know enough? Can I really help people? What if people don't get results? What if they think I'm a fraud? What if they think I'm trying to be an expert, or, and I'm not really, all these things. So if you've had any of those pop up, let me know, because it's quite common. And to give you an example, one thing in particular, one of my clients was wanting to do some coaching and work around intuitive eating with her clients. And she started doing a lot of research and looking at everyone else's stuff and kind of the experts out there on intuitive eating, and started really questioning herself and what she knew and what she was offering. And she was seeing that there was a lot of these, I don't know if it was doctors or experts out there who were offering courses to get certified in intuitive eating techniques. And so she was starting to question herself. She's oh my gosh, do I know enough? Can I really help people? And so it was good that this came up, because a lot of other people were kind of feeling this same thing around different things that they wanted to offer, and whether they could, they knew enough to really help their clients and get those results. And so what we talked about is that what I think is really important to recognize is that there's no one right technique for anything out there. Just like there's no one right diet, which I think a lot of us know, because if there was, we'd all be eating exactly the same way. If there was one right way to start a business, we'd all be doing that the same way. We're all a little different, and different things work for us. And so I think it's really important to understand this when it comes to creating your programs and how you're going to work with people and serve them, because there isn't one right way to do it. And just because there's someone out there who's saying that they're an expert in some sort of technique, doesn't mean that you need to get some sort of certification or do things in their way, because I think we are all meant to coach and work with people in our own unique way. And this is why I really think it's important to create your own programs, because most likely what has helped you personally through your transformation, which is what a lot of us are coaching on, is something that we've been through personally, is the same thing that's going to help your clients. And often we kind of get there through a series of different events, maybe a series of different things that we've learned. And so you can really take that and help other people then. So really like let go of this need. And I would say stop looking at what everyone else is doing and all the different certifications and all that stuff that's out there and driving yourself crazy. And instead really trust yourself and what you already know and being able to put that into a program to be able to help people, because there isn't one right way to do it. And just because someone has made some sort of a certification or program on something doesn't mean it's the right way. So I think it's helpful to recognize that, number one, and also just to probably stop looking so much at what everyone else is doing, and instead, because when we do that so much, we shut off our intuition and we don't leave space for our own creativity, our own intuition, our own like inner guidance to come in and, guide us and kind of show us maybe things that we could be doing or guide us in the way that we're supposed to go. And so I think it's really important to stop looking at what everyone else is doing and instead open up some space for your own creativity to create your own programs so that you can help people from that space. Because that's really, I believe we're all meant to help people in our own unique way. And that's really the cool thing about coaching. Like there's not one right way to do it. And so I can even like relate to this as far as like when I was doing chiropractic and nutrition, and I worked under a number of different people when I was first getting started to learn different techniques. And I kept like thinking there was some like holy grail technique with nutrition, especially nutrition. I was very interested in that. That was like the go-to thing that was going to solve everyone's problem. And I really realized that wasn't the case, that everyone responds to unique things and certain different things work better for different people. So this really like allowed me, I think, to give myself the freedom to work with people in the way that I really wanted to work with people and not feel like I had to follow someone else's technique or path. And so that's when I started doing coaching and really kind of coaching intuitively and kind of from my own experience. I first started coaching women around emotional eating and body image because that is something that I had struggled with. And then moving on to business coaching, once again, using my experience of starting my business and teaching people from that. So I think it's an important thing to remember. And it really helps as far as your confidence, I would say, as a coach. Lindsay, let me see what you're saying. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about this or you can relate to any of this, like, let me know. Lindsay, let me see what you're saying. Yes, Lindsay, saying that the intentions is what makes the difference. Absolutely. So I absolutely think that intention is everything, and that coaching is so much about holding the space for someone. And it isn't about giving people information, right? Like a lot of times we think, so many coaches get stuck in this, I need more certifications, I need to do more learning, I need to do more training, because they think they need more information. But if you think about it, like we all have availability to the internet now. So you can look up anything and everything online. Actually, we have more information available to us than we ever did before. And the thing is, like, it isn't about getting more information. It's about actually like taking that information and applying it to your life and making changes. And that's where coaching is awesome. And coaching, I think, is unique in this because it's really the only thing out there that is particularly meant to help people create change in their lives from taking action. So, because a lot of times, therapy can kind of be like coaching in a way, but therapy is a lot more about talking and about like understanding, and it isn't so much action based. And where we really make changes, I mean, the only place we can make a change in our life is in the present moment, which is what coaching is all about, like making a change in the present moment where we're at. So that's why I think coaching is so awesome. So the other thing I want to talk about, so when it comes to getting out there and like offering your services to people. One of the things that was also coming up for my clients was this thing around not feeling confident, because it's new, right? Like it's new when you're first getting started. If you're new to coaching and you're new to working with people, or you're starting to work with people in a bit of a different way, it's going to feel a little uncomfortable because you haven't done it before. And so I wanted to talk about the difference actually between, because I think the way to build up confidence is actually through experience and through practice, right? So really, like, the only way to build up our confidence is actually through coaching people, like our confidence around coaching. And the only way to get experience is by actually doing it. So people get stuck in this catch-22 of like, I need more confidence to coach people, but the only way to build up my confidence is by actually coaching people. So the biggest thing to do is, so I like to say what you need actually, hey, Crystal. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, this is a topic that's been coming up for everyone right now. So I think it's a good thing to talk about. So the big thing that I would say is you actually, instead of maybe confidence, which I think you really get through experience and by taking action, you actually need courage to put yourself out there and to start working with people, even though you maybe don't have the experience yet, because we all start at the same point, which is a point where we haven't worked with anyone, where we haven't had any clients. Maybe we don't have testimonials, we don't have that experience, but we all start there. That's where everyone has started with anything. And the only way, I mean, even if you think about it like doctors, you know, you always start, or surgeons, or, you know, something like that, like they always start not really knowing what they're doing and not feeling super confident because they haven't done it before. And the only way to build up that confidence and that skill is through practice. So this doesn't mean that you're going to be like absolutely shitty in the beginning and you have to do lots of practice to get better, but you just have to know that like anything you want to get good at takes practice, and being willing to just get started so that you can get that practice to get that confidence and to build up the skills so that you're better at it. So that was the other thing. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about really goes into like your responsibility as a coach. So we are not responsible for our clients' results because we cannot make them take action, which leads to the results. So I think it's really important to understand this. So our responsibility as a coach is to facilitate, I would say, transformation. So we hold the space, and yes, we can make recommendations, we can guide people, we can, you know, kind of show them the way they're thinking or show them the patterns that they're getting stuck in so that they can make changes. We can help them get clear on what they really want. And so these are really like the responsibilities of a coach, but we are not ultimately responsible for the client's results because only the client can take action, and our actions are always what lead to our results. So I want to like kind of break down like a little bit of a, let's say like it's a model of how our thoughts create our feelings, which create our actions, which create our results. And this is for all of us. And so us as coaches have our own model of our thoughts create our feelings, create our actions, create our results. And our clients have their own separate model of their thoughts create their feelings, create their actions, create their results. So what we can recognize from that is that us as a coach cannot directly change the client's results. What we can help the client do is recognize and change their thoughts, which will change their feelings, which will change their actions, which will change their results. But we cannot directly, as a coach, like change their results because the results are based on their actions. Let me know if that makes sense. But for me, I was like, yes, that makes a lot of sense, and it really helps kind of like take away like this responsibility as a coach for your clients to get results. Because I think no matter what, and no matter how long you've been coaching, you're always going to get clients who go, you know, work with you and absolutely love it, and sometimes you're going to get clients that work with you and maybe don't get the results they want and are unhappy. And that's part of, I think, doing anything, but not to take that personally, because it doesn't necessarily have to do with anything that you did as a coach or did wrong, but often it has to do with the client and the actions that they took, or the thoughts that they had that impacted their actions, which impacted their results. So let me know if that makes sense to you guys. Getting a little technical there, but I think it helps when you can kind of break it down and see how it all works, and understand that, like, as a coach, you're not responsible. Because I think that's one of the biggest things that really holds a lot of people back, especially in the beginning, from actually getting out there and sharing what they do. Because we're like, oh my gosh, like, what if I can't help people? What if I can't help people get results? Like, I'm a fraud, like all these different things that really pop up for us. So it's definitely a big topic. Let me see what question you had, Crystal. Okay. So, Crystal, are you asking like how you would say that to other people? Because I don't think as a coach you need to say that to other people as far as like the thoughts, feelings, action, results. I think that's more of like your magic sauce. That is like the process that you take people through. So it's really like your understanding of how the process works than what you would tell other people. Because when it comes to like a marketing perspective and what we tell other people as far as allowing them to know how we can help them, is just saying, really, like, I help you get from where you are now to where you want to go. And we don't have to tell people how. Like, that's up to us, and we're going to walk them through it. But all we need to let people know is, like, I can help you make that transformation. I can help you change where you are now to where you want to go. Like, I feel confident in that. But you don't have to explain, like, I'm going to help you change your thoughts, which change your feelings, which change your actions, which change your results. Because they'll probably be like, whoa, what are you talking about? Like, that sounds really complicated. It sounds really woo-woo. Like, I think I need something a little more, like, concrete. And even though, like, that is really how it works, and you can kind of explain that to your client probably as you go, it's not how you would, like, market yourself, I would say. Yes, you're selling a transformation. It can only happen if your client shows up. Absolutely. So this is also why I think it's really good to charge a price point that feels like a bit of a stretch to people, because I feel like when you invest in something and it feels like a big investment, you're a lot more likely to show up and actually do the work. That isn't always the case. Like, sometimes people are going to make a big investment, they won't show up and do the work. But for a lot of us, if we make a big investment, we're going to show up, we're going to do the work, we're going to be a lot more invested in the results. And so that's why I think when you're thinking about your price point too, like, typically when clients are paying a higher price for something, they're going to be more committed to it and more likely to show up and do the work, even when it gets hard. Because that's the thing about coaching and about creating change. It's hard. If it wasn't, everyone would do it. And so I think that really, really helps make sure that you're working with people who are really committed and are going to get good results, which ultimately, like, that's who we want to work with. So you want to work with people that are going to follow through and get results. And if people don't, though, not to make it mean anything about you. Doesn't mean you're a bad coach. Doesn't mean, like, you didn't show up, you didn't do the work. You can look at the situation and see, like, is there anything I can learn from this to do different next time? And be open to that. But don't take it something personally, like, oh, I'm a bad coach, or I didn't do well enough, or I failed this person, or whatever. It doesn't mean any of that. Yes, you can use it as a learning opportunity, but most likely it has to do with that person's own model, their thoughts, their feelings, their actions, their results, and not what you were doing, which was, the coaching and holding that space. So I hope you guys found that helpful. Let me know if you have questions on this. Feel free to type them in. And if you catch the replay, let me know if you have any questions about this too. I know it's a big topic for people. So I think you'll find it helpful. And I think it will really help as far as your confidence of putting yourself out there and not taking over responsibility for people's results. So thanks so much for joining me, everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. If you want any support with this stuff and you're looking for a coach to work with to help you with your business, I would love to speak with you about that. You can send me a message and let me know, and we could set up a time to talk. We do a lot of mindset work when we're coaching, because once again, your thoughts create your feelings, which create your actions, create your results. This is what happens in our business too. So if we're not taking the actions, we're not going to get the results, and that all comes from our thoughts and our feelings. So we do a lot of work around that, which people find super helpful. Total game changer in your business and in your whole life. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing weekend. Thank you everyone who joined me. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.